Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Sally Limis. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Special election coverage from around the Commonwealth. Voters headed to the polls in a variety of ways this year. Tonight, and it could be late tonight, the results will be tabulated. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
Freshness. It's the overall reason beer drinkers choose draft beer. And that's the reason Godfathers is making a serious commitment to offering their customers a full lineup of draft beer on tap. Choose from Lagunitas IPA, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, Lost Coast Downtown Brown Ale, Fat Tire, Blue Moon, and more. All competitively priced. Godfathers Bar now serving the island's widest selection of ice cold beer right from the tap. Godfathers Bar, where everybody's family.
Enjoy the deliciously saucy McRib. Only for a limited time and only at McDonald's.
The legendary McRib is back. Pair it with fries and a drink for a limited time.
Half a day to the WAMI and good evening, Commonwealth. Tonight we have special election coverage. What does Election Day look like in the CNMI? With music, grills, long picnic tables, and lots of dancing? You would think there was an island-wide fiesta happening. We take you to each precinct on Saipan and share what candidates and supporters feel on this very important day. Our first stop this morning was Dandan Middle School, which is one of the designated polling sites for Precinct 1. Lieutenant Governor Hopeful David Apatang was spotted with supporters camped across the school. One supporter shares what she would like the next elected leaders to do for the community.
I'm Marie Coleman. I actually voted for all previous years in Precinct 1, and then this year I moved to Precinct 5.
All right, so tell us, what are some of the top issues that you want our next elected leaders to address?
Well, first of all, of course, we want to trust that they're going to keep all the promises that they made for us. And also, I really believe in the whole rebuilding trust, restoring confidence for our community, for improving our economy. Also, it's really a big recovery coming out of the pandemic, coming out of all these natural disasters. But I think we really need strong, trustworthy leaders that we know that we can count on, that have wisdom and discernment, and that are also going to really bring the community together. The only way we're going to make it is we can come together, have a lot of harmony and unity, and I really feel that this team, the Palacios Apatang team and the independents, will be the ones to be able to do that and to treat everybody fairly, all members of our community, without any fear or without any retaliation. But I think the big things are really rebuilding our trust and our credibility, and also just rebuilding trust.
Over at the Republican camp, one gentleman shares his thoughts on the current administration.
I think if you look at it, Governor Torres have done almost everything, and we just need to improve more. And that's why I'm working hard for him to go and finish his work. Another 4 years, and I think it'll be much better.
And what do you think of this year's election? Do you think we're going to get up to a runoff, or?
Hopefully, the Republicans' mentality is that we don't, but with three-way race, the possibility is there. But we're working like hell.
Governor Ralph Torres and running mate Vinny Sablan made their way to Precinct 2 at around 11 a.m. this morning, waving with supporters and being in the election day mood. One voter shares the importance of voting.
Hi, my name is Jason Lizama, and I'm from Precinct 2, Chalankanoa.
All right, so can you tell me why is it important to vote?
I believe it's important to vote because we as U.S. citizens just have a duty to make sure our voice is heard. Our opinions and the things we want to change on Saipan can only be done if we make sure that we vote for the person or people we want in office. And I've always believed that we have to do our part as a community to do that.
Right on. And you know, what are some of the concerns in the community that you would like our next elected leaders to really address?
At least right now, I'm mostly concerned with the way we as Saipan are approaching tourism. For example, we have a lot of destinations here that are closed or run down, and I just want to see more new businesses, find their way here to Saipan.
Lieutenant Governor Arnold Palacios shares a few words with KSPN over at his team's camp set up in Precinct 5.
How do you feel?
We're very energized. I feel very energized. Obviously, so are a lot of our supporters. As you will see, Precinct 5 is a very energized precinct. There's only one polling place. That's probably why everybody's kind of congregated up, but it's good. I mean, people, as long as we keep stability at the highest level, we'll be okay. But our people are very energized.
Tell us about your route. Which precinct did you go to first?
I've gone to Precinct 3 because that's my precinct, both polling place, and then I went down to Chalankanoa, and I went to all the polling places in Precinct 1, Upwood, Dandan, and Kobler. And then this is my next stop, and then I'm gonna go down to Precinct 4 after this. But yeah, I brought my wife, my daughter, and my granddaughter. So they're watching this. We feel very confident that we will do well. So, we're giving it everything we got and leaving it on the floor. Today is the last day for voting, and we hope the results will pay off.
Two candidates running for the House of Representatives in Precinct 5 are in good spirits and high hopes today. It's election day. How do you feel right now?
Honestly, I feel really good. It's been an awesome journey. Definitely one of the most challenging journeys of my life, but also one of the most rewarding journeys. And I know that I did everything I can. I know my heart's in the right place. I know I want to serve the people. So now it's just up to the people of Precinct 5 to decide who they want to exercise their vote. And whatever the outcome, I'm happy with it. I know that I did everything that I could.
All right, awesome. And what about for the gubernatorial election? How is it looking for you? What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's very good. I think, where I stand with the governor and Senator Vinny Sablan. I've worked with them personally, especially with the governor. I know that his heart's in the right place. I know he works hard for our people. I know that he cares about our people. And most of all, he's always treated me as an equal. Just because he's a governor, he doesn't put himself on a high horse or acts like he's better than anyone else. He's somebody that is relatable, that I can talk to, that I can work with, and that's why I'm supporting him and Senator Vinny Sablan.
Really excited, man, actually. Honestly, it's really exciting. First time to run, obviously. First time to experience this kind of the mixed emotions, and it's fun.
Yeah, and Precinct 5 is the second largest.
It is.
Do you feel that you got your message out to the residents of Precinct 5?
Well, I tried my best, man. Voters already, I guess they're decided at this point who they want to vote for. But obviously, if given the opportunity, there's going to be so much projects that's going to happen, and that I can give everybody the assurance that there's going to be a lot of projects, and I'm excited for it.
Dancing, cheering, and waving were seen all over the island today as campaigns wrap up and we patiently await for the results. It's happening. The votes are being cast. Some voted early, some voted absentee, but most of the Commonwealth made their decision today, heading to the local polling places. It's democracy in action. Our Chris Nelson has more from Precincts 3 and 4.
San Roque Elementary School was one of the places to vote today. Voters were trickling in. 38 had voted by 8:45 this morning. Poll workers say they were preparing for a breakfast rush.
Looks like it's gonna be throughout the day. So we gotta go turn on in the morning, but I think once everybody's waking up and have a little something to eat, they'll be here.
All right. Camps are across the street. What's the mood been like for people coming in?
So far it's been chill. It's chill over here in San Roque. So yeah, that's the vibe right now.
I think it's always chill in San Roque.
Yeah, for real.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this your first year handling the election here, or what's your role here?
So COVID task force, we're just handling the sanitations and like just the line and the crowd control. So yeah, it's our first year here. So it's been good. Thank you guys for being patient with us.
Anything special coming out of the pandemic? Is this election any different than it's been in years past because of the pandemic?
Just the sanitation part, we just want everybody to sanitize and just be safe.
What's important to you in this year's election?
The economy, honesty.
What about in your precinct?
Oh, in my precinct?
Yeah.
I don't really have any issues in my area. There's a lot of abandoned houses. I can imagine that becoming a problem in the future. There's a lot of Chinese have leased properties and they're no longer here. They're all growing up in weeds and making the neighborhood not look so good.
First time voting, what's important to you in our precinct here?
What really matters to me is a candidate that really expresses how they're going to make change instead of just saying that we need change in the island. I feel like that's been an issue with a lot of the candidates answering a lot of questions from the debates that I've seen. It's a lot of we need to do this and not how we're going to do it. So, yeah.
What are some issues that you'd like to see either improved or changed or stay the same?
I feel like there could be improvement with a lot of beautification projects. There's so many issues with littering, and I feel like at a lot of beaches, public beaches and parks, there aren't enough disposal sites for people to throw their trash, or there are very few, when we know that everybody goes to the beach on the weekends and everybody parties on the weekends, and we should accommodate that and we should do that better because it's been like that forever.
What else is important to you as a young voter?
I think representation. I think it's really important to see local women more in political positions here. I feel like we don't see enough. We see a lot of men. So for me personally, I feel like it's really nice to have that representation.
I hope the winner for this election, all the winners, they bring the economy back.
Dale Carhill went in with the intention to vote, but found out the hard way that his vote would not be taken today.
Tried to vote, but apparently I had missed an election and got kicked off the voter rolls, which I didn't know.
What did they say? What did they say to you?
They just said I'm not on the list and therefore I can't vote. So I must have missed an election. And it's possible because I was off island having eye surgeries a lot.
Okay. How you feeling?
If I would have known, I would have registered. I didn't know I wasn't, so kind of disappointed.
In Garapan, the mood this morning, lively. Camp set up across the street from Garapan Elementary School, home of the Mallards. Lots of enthusiasm and optimism, and inside, some short lines. What's important to you in this election?
This is just for my scholarship. I just need to maintain it. But also, I want to make a change. I think my vote matters. So, yeah, I want to vote for the right person.
Good.
And that would, help us build our community and hopefully make a better government.
Ray Umel not on the ballot this year, but was out supporting his brother. What's it been like being out of politics?
Actually, it's very refreshing. Sometimes you gotta take a step back and then look at life in general, I guess. Spending time with my family and trying a new career path. I spent over 12 years in government, and it's time for the next generation to start stepping in. I'm always here for anyone who needs advice or guidance. So it's always about the people and the economy. We want a place to live and prosper and
What are the big issues for you in this election?
Well, the biggest issue obviously is going to be about government finances, the tourism. We need to try to restore that. We have flights coming in, but unfortunately we don't have enough cargo to send out to help balance the profitability of these flights. So I'm worried that we're going to lose these flights after the program ends, since the government's subsidizing. We didn't give it enough foresight. I say, look, if we're going to subsidize flights to come in, we better have product to ship out so that we find that the balance.
Yumo had a run as the CEO of Imperial Pacific. The casino currently sits vacant in Garapan and is a big issue for some voters in this year's election. So being inside the company, what do you think is the future of that?
Right now, their financial position is very weak, and of course we already know the geopolitics between the United States and China and Russia. So they have a huge uphill battle. I think it's still salvageable, but at the end of the day, everybody has to come to the table, and unfortunately politics right now is delaying that ability for everyone to converge and come up with a global solution.
Knowing what you know now, having been outside the industry and inside the industry, do you think it's a good company for the CNMI?
I don't want to talk in specifics about the company itself, but as the company that came in, the way they operated with startup, the way they invested and operated, there were a lot of misguidance on the part of certain key advisors that unfortunately these investors did not vet properly, and they got a lot of bad advice. They made a lot of unnecessary investments, and quite frankly a lot of that money went to waste, and that could have been easily channeled to completing the structure and having the business remain sustainable. Right now it's really dead in the water.
Do you think that structure's safe?
Right now it's safe based on my communications with the engineers and staff at the time, but every day that the structure remains stagnant, of course the structure itself becomes with a lack of maintenance. Of course, it's going to start to dilapidate. So,
what do we do if that thing doesn't get built? What are the steps? What are the options?
Well, the first option obviously is for another company to consider taking it over and finishing it. If they feel that it's not structurally sound, then there's going to have to be discussion on how to dismantle the building and how to dispose of the waste and recycle the steel, things of that sort. What can we do about the landfill that's poised to basically take all that material, and then we're going to have a new set of problems, which is we're going to have to build another landfill cell. So these are compounding problems that, although it's not an issue now, it will be down the road.
With 3 candidates running for governor, a strong possibility exists that the NMI will have a runoff election. It's a 3-way race for the top seat in the Commonwealth. The Constitution requires a candidate to receive 51% of the total votes to be named governor. If no candidate meets that number, a runoff election will be held between the top 2 vote getters. So if one is out of the race, who will they support? We speak with the 3 gubernatorial candidates, beginning with Democrat Bet Tina Sablan.
I have to ask this: if you don't make it, who will you be supporting?
Oh, that is such a loaded question. I mean, I of course hope that we will make it, and I've been very clear about the need for change, real change in the Marianas. I think that Leila and I present the best option for that. and for good governance in the Commonwealth. And I think that maybe the one thing that we have in common with the AD camp is that we agree that there needs to be a change in the current administration, right? And so, yeah, I can say that I am committed in the event of a runoff to throwing my support behind the ticket that represents that. But of course, I am very hopeful and I feel very good about the election and how things are going so far. I do hope that we come out on top.
Arnold Palacios, a former Republican, is now running under a unified independent team.
If you don't make it to the runoff election, which team would you support?
Well, we haven't really thought about that. I haven't really thought about that. Seriously, I wish I had. Maybe I should, but I haven't really thought about that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, you know. I can't really say now, but you know, there's been a lot of issues that needs to be addressed, and you know, that's still up in the air. But I haven't really thought about that because I'm very confident that we're going to make it one way or another.
Ralph Torres remains under the Republican banner, running with a new partner this year.
If you don't make it to the runoff election, who would you be supporting?
Well, that has yet a discussion to be made. And of course, I'll sit down with my committee and with all the supporters, and we'll get their insight and their input, and then we'll make that decision after.
The Commonwealth Election Commission has expressed their readiness in the event of a runoff election, which may likely be held 14 days after the official results. The KSPN News team will be at the Multipurpose Center tonight for the vote tabulation, and we will have live updates on our Facebook page throughout the evening. Biba Marianas, and good evening, Commonwealth.